on? This is Crystal Taylor, and today you are here with me on Fitness Friday as we're going to talk about discipline. And I decided to have this conversation about discipline because the majority of the times when I meet people and I ask, what's your biggest struggle? They say consistency, consistency, consistency. But consistency, well, the lack of consistency can also be the lack of a discipline, right? Having discipline. So let's talk about it. If you're here with me now, say, hey, if you're catching this on replay, do me a favor, type replay in the chat. Let's drink some water and let's get into it. So first things first. For us to get into this conversation, I need you to be honest. And if you had to grade yourself on how disciplined you are despite challenges, because that's the thing. You see, this title is from setback to comeback, right? Because we're talking about staying in the game despite the distractions and challenges and frustrations that can come up. So let me know how you would rate yourself in the chat. Let me, is it an A? Is it a B? Is it a whole F? You on a dean's list or you trying to stay in school? Which one is it, right? But let's talk about why some of the things, because we're going to talk about some of the obstacles that could come up. But then, of course, it's not just about talking about the things that could happen. I'll give you strategies on how to get around those. And then also talking about how I can help you with that in addition to the strategies and the tips. Okay. So when it comes to discipline is when you face challenges, you face distractions, and you say, you know what, I have a goal, so I'm going to find a way. As they say, where there's a will, there's a way. So the question is, how strong is your will? If I don't know anything, I know about some setbacks. For anyone, and if this is your first time on a video with me, type a 1 in the chat and welcome. Hey, hey, hey. If you're OG, type OG in the chat. But for anyone who's been around me for any amount of time, you know that I'm very, very transparent and open about not just the good things I'm able to achieve, but also the struggles. And the importance of sharing those struggles is to let you know that you're human. Whatever you could be going through, other people going through it too, but also there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So the biggest struggle I would say that I've had in recent years, and it's crazy how fast time is going by, but I was basically sick off and on pretty consistently from 2016 to 2019. So for 4 years, I was battling so many different types of health issues. Where at one point they thought I had MS. My body was shutting down on me. I could barely go up and down my stairs. I could barely drive, all of that good stuff. And then and that lasted into 2017. Then 2018, the girl I won't say I got clumsy. I didn't listen to my body. Almost fainted. And in the midst of catching myself so I didn't hit the ground, I messed my foot up so badly that I ended up having to have surgery in my foot. In 2018, 2019, I had a full hysterectomy. So basically for 4 years, I was doing this. Even when I was able to work out, during that time, I was never fully 100% able to do the things that I wanted to do. So, and just being completely transparent and honest, there was a time when I did fall into a depression. I can't rate whether it was large or big or whatever, or small, but there was a time where I felt depressed because exercise is such a stress reliever for me. And it's the best stress reliever for everybody, but it's really big for me. And I'm really big on routine. So for me not to be able to have my routine, and when I did do my routine, it wasn't what I wanted to be. It was hard. And there were times where I couldn't work out at all, right? So I had to ask myself, okay, Crystal, and this is something I encourage you to do. I talk about this with my clients frequently. Whenever something is taken away, it's very easy for us to think about what we can't have, what we can't do. But in those instances, when you think you're going down that path, I want you to switch it and remind yourself, for every one thing you can't do, remind yourself of two or three things that you can do, two or three things that you can do that you enjoy, two or three things that you can add, right? So it's really about asking yourself, okay, do I want the goal that I set for myself? Whether it's to lose some weight, to tone up, to get off these medications, whatever the case may be, do I really want that goal or am I interested? That's the question I always like to ask. Are you committed or are you interested? Because if you're committed, nothing's going to stop you. Nothing's going to stop you. If you're interested, you'll let every excuse stop you. And it's a time when you go from a reason to an excuse, right? It's a reason why you can't do certain things. But if you sit on that too long, then it turns into an excuse. It turns into a real talk. It turns to a cop out. It turns into a reason for you to just stop and be like, oh, well, I can't. Well, you might not be able to do that, but I'm sure there's something else you can do. Now, I talked about some of my health issues, and real talk, I'm currently in one. My lower back has been giving me the flux for about a month now, consistently. It has started doing some things a little prior to that, but I would say the last month or so, it's been really bad. I started going to a chiropractor maybe a week and a half ago now, somewhere around there. And because of my back, I cannot do the workouts that I want to do. If anybody's seen me before, I love jumping rope. Jumping rope is one of my favorite things to do. I enjoy a good run. It feels good when I get done, right? I can't do those things because my spine does not want any pressure. And my chiropractor said, no, ma'am, no ham, no turkey, not right now. So it's frustrating to not be able to do what you want to do. And we get into a routine. You can go hard, and I miss going hard, but that doesn't mean that I can't go. Did y'all catch that? Just because you can't go hard, I mean you can't go. So it's a matter of asking myself, okay, well, I can't run, but I can use the row machine. I can ride the bike. I can walk. There now, are those things as now? Row machine can be, but the question is, are all of those things as intense or as full body as running a jumping rope? Maybe not. But that just means that instead of me being able to jump rope for 5 or 10 minutes and run for 10 minutes, now maybe I just need to go walk for 25 minutes. That means that I need to ride the bike at a higher intensity for 15 minutes, right? It's really just about adjusting. But it's not always just a physical thing. One of the major reasons that I hear that people are not exercising, one of the biggest distractions or hurdles or challenges is time. And let me know, as a matter of fact, let me know what your biggest struggle is. When you say that you struggle with being consistent, let me know what your struggle is. Because a lot of people are like, Chris, I just don't have the time. Or my schedule changed to work. Or like right now, we're back to school phase. So now your time may not be your time anymore. Now you have to add in dropping the kids off, picking the kids up, helping them with homework, after school programs, extracurricular activities, all these other things. So now your schedule has changed, right? Or you may say, Crystal, another one I hear frequently, and let me know if this is you. I hear frequently, Crystal, I'm struggling with finding my motivation. Let me know if I hit on any of yours yet. Is it a physical limitation? Is it time? Is it lack of motivation? Sometimes when the weather changes, people are like, oh, it's been snowing, it's been raining, because we've had a lot of rain here in the Chicago area. Let me know. And that's fine. But when that happens, that's when you just have to say, okay, what I thought I was going to do, I can't do right now. So what can we do instead? There's so many different things we can do. With the physical stuff, my major suggestion, an encouragement, plea, beg, whatever you want to call it, is to listen to your body, right? Because sometimes when we are limited, now there's a difference between when your doctor tells you not to do something or when you decide to pull back. Because sometimes we pull back out of fear. There's this fear that if you do it, it's going to hurt. It's this fear that is going to make it worse. Listen to your body. And if it hurts, just like, oh my goodness, what was that? The day I decided to go to the chiropractor, I knew my back was hurting. And I said, let me see if I could jump. I'm a Capricorn. I can be stubborn sometimes. Yeah, don't judge me. But I promise you, I think I jumped once, maybe twice, and dropped that rope like negative. That ain't happening today. So it was a matter of adjusting the routine. Because the goal of the day was not to jump rope. The goal of the day was to get a workout in. So, okay, I can't do that as my cardio. What else can I do? There are a number of things we can do. Sometimes it may not even be just the routine that you adjust. You may have to adjust what your goals are. Right now, you may say, my goal is to lose 7 pounds, and I'm going to do this by going to the gym 6 days a week, blah, 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 blah. If your schedule does not allot for it now because your schedule has gotten busier with work, family, other commitments, then, okay, maybe the goal isn't to get there 6 days a week. Maybe the goal is to do 3 days a week at the gym and maybe 2 or 3 at home. You see how, are you seeing how we have to just make adjustments as opposed to saying, well, what I wanted to do, I can't do no more, so I can't do nothing. Then nobody say you can't do anything. There are just certain things you can't do. Now, the cool thing about it, I've always told my boys, you either win or you learn, right? There's no such thing as a loss. Sometimes when things come up, whether it's the time, the body, or whatever, we feel like we're losing. Like, man, here it goes again. I can't. In that instance, it forces you to think bigger, to think broader, to introduce new things in there, right? So that's something that's really good that could come out of, because what I also know that's a huge challenge when it comes to health and fitness, and a huge, I was going to say hurdle, but I don't think it's a hurdle. It may be a burden, maybe. I'm going to come up with a different word. But the gist of it is sometimes you get too comfortable. Sometimes you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again because it's familiar to you. It makes you feel good because you know you can achieve it. You know you can accomplish it. But what it does is it also stagnates your progress. And all of a sudden now you're wondering why you're not losing the weight that you have been losing before. Now you're wondering why your clothes are fitting different. Now you're wondering why you're not sleeping as well as you were. Now you're wondering all these things. Why do you feel like you're regressing? Because you're plateauing. Now, again, we've talked about this before, but it needs to be discussed again. Plateaus are part of the process. Plateaus are there to wake you up and say, you've gotten too comfortable. We've done this thing. You've achieved that. You've mastered that. Give me something harder. And when you hit that plateau, it's not about being frustrated that you've plateaued. Man, I'm not getting the results that I've gotten before. That's when you hit that plateau, you should pat yourself on the back. You say, ooh, wee. What I did to get these results, I killed it. I mastered it. I did that very, very, very well. Now it's time for me to see what I can switch up. Instead of being mad at that plateau, give yourself credit for the progress you made. Say, wow, I used to be X, Y, and Z, and now I'm A, B, and C, whatever the case may be. But don't be upset with that plateau. But use that as a springing board to find something different, to find something new. And it's the same thing when you got these challenges and these setbacks. Whoa, my time is limited. I used to be able to go to an hour-long dance class. All right, you can't do an hour anymore. Let's try 30 minutes. You may find a 30-minute class that you absolutely love, that's fun, and is getting you results, right? And you may say, well, Crystal, I don't even have 30 minutes. Okay, cool. You may find ways to sneak in your workouts. I love a good sneaker workout. I send them to my clients all day, every day. You may say, well, shoot, I ain't had those 30 minutes, but you know what? I enjoy doing squats when I use the bathroom now. I enjoy doing push-ups off the counter when I'm refilling my water bottle, and it's helping me get results, right? So sometimes you just have to step back and stop doing the same things over and over and over again. So that setback, well, what could be perceived as a setback, could actually be something good. But it's really about deciding, hey, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm not. And how many of you will admit to sometimes when a little something happens, you say, you know what? That means I ain't supposed to do it. Lies you tell. I was asking for a sign. Lies you tell. Because sometimes that dedication and commitment can be pretty doggone hard, right? It could be a struggle to stay in the game. And sometimes it's just easier to just stop. But if you really have that goal, if you really want to tone up, if you really want to get stronger, if you really want to lose that weight, if you really want to get off that medication, nothing's going to stop you. Nothing, not one thing. So that's when I want you to dig deep and ask yourself, why did I even set this goal in the first place? Because what I know is that unless it's for a wedding or something like that, class reunion, typically the goal that you set was set for a reason. You really, really want it. So don't give up on it. All right. So I'm going to let y'all be. It's a Friday. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. But I just felt the need to talk about that because so many people struggle with that. And if you know you struggle with that, I also have something for you. I created a 7-day challenge. It's free. Email challenge. Each day for 7 days, I'm going to just send you a tip in the morning to help get your head back in the game, get your heart back in the game, to hopefully get your body and your spirit back in the game too, so that you can be more consistent and know that consistency does not equal perfection. It does not, but it is about that discipline of staying in the game, especially staying in the game mentally, even when you may not be able to stay in the game physically. So all you got to do, I'm dropping a link in the chat. Just go to bit.ly/7day discipline and get added to the email list. Your emails will start tomorrow. And you can get all of that sent to you every day. Just give you a tip. And I promise you, if you follow those tips, and they're easy. One thing I am huge on is making sure that whatever I recommend to you all is something that's easy to implement, something that's simple. I don't ever want you all to feel like it's an arduous task of being healthy. It's really not. So I'm sending you 7 simple tips to get you on track so that you can be happy with your results and feel good about yourself. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to wish you a very healthy, happy, fantabulous Friday and weekend. And if you have to go out there in the streets, please be safe because I just want you healthy. I want you happy and I want you here. All right, y'all. See you next time.